Hello again. It's good to be with you. My name is Keith, and I am the creator of the Lotus Path, a self-help guide, a self-paced guide that helps us to overcome and work through the wounds of childhood trauma and adverse childhood experiences in our lives. It's good to be with you, and if you are hearing my voice and seeing my face, as always, congratulations, because you have survived. Against the most unlikeliest of odds, you've survived some of the most potentially devastating experiences any person can experience. You have survived. It is a great day because in this survival, you have under your belt already one victory in your healing journey of working your way through childhood trauma. And that's good news. All it takes is one win to go on a winning streak. All it takes is one great day to be the catalyst for a bright future where you will experience loving relationships, healthy relationships, a future where you will be able to establish and sustain boundaries, a future where you will be able to have healthy experiences and exchanges with others, a future where you will be able to realize your full potential, where you will be able to uncover that wonderful, fabulous, loving person that you are deep down inside, the person that has been hidden for so long because of childhood trauma and adverse childhood experiences. So today is a great day for you as well as a great day for me because I too am a survivor of childhood trauma. I wanted to certainly share with you an idea or a thought that I would hope would prove beneficial for you in your life and on your healing journey. But before I do, let me remind you that you are not alone, that I am not alone, that we, among many other people, millions of people, are on this road of healing, on this healing journey from childhood trauma and adverse childhood experiences. And it's good to know that you have a tribe. It's good to know that you have people who, in fact, are going through the same things or similar things that you're going through because it encourages us to move forward in our own healing journey. I wanted to share with you today the idea of trauma bonds. The idea of trauma bonds. So is there such a thing as trauma bonds? And it is true. There is such a thing as trauma bonds, where we have developed bonds with people or with situations or circumstances or relationships that have caused and that perhaps are still causing trauma in our lives. We've developed trauma bonds. And that development did not come to us from just anywhere. We didn't stumble upon trauma bonds. Was not an accident that we have endured or we are continually enduring these trauma bonds. But these have been in our lives from the beginning of those traumatic experiences, and they have been put into our lives by others, by other people, other circumstances, other situations, and other experiences. And so, what is a trauma bond? Trauma bond is exactly what it says. It is a bond that you are a part of, that has been, that currently is perhaps, and in the future will continually bring you trauma. It is a bond with a person, a bond with a circumstance, a bond with an experience. You are attached to a person. You are attached to a circumstance. You are attached to an experience that continuously overwhelms your systems. And remember, that's what trauma is. Trauma is the overwhelming of our systems. And so a trauma bond is some sort of bond, some sort of relationship, some sort of an attachment that continues to overwhelm our systems, that continue to bring us pain, that continue to bring us all sorts of negative experiences in our lives. And where then did this trauma bond begin? It began at the source of our trauma. It started at home, because for the vast majority of us who are healing from childhood trauma and adverse childhood experiences, trauma began at home, because trauma began with our parents, with our mothers and fathers and other caregivers, more than perhaps those traumatic experiences showed up in our life from the outside. They showed up in our life from the inside out. People that we trusted, people that we depended on, people that we expected to protect us, to love us, to support us, to provide for us. Those people, whether knowingly or unknowingly, provided for traumatic experiences in our lives. Whether it was abuse or neglect, whether it was exploitation or abandonment, whether it was rejection, whatever those issues or experiences were for you, they came because our caregiver was acting those things out on us or with us, or their lack of attention and alertness and being present in our lives allowed for other experiences to bring those traumatic experiences into our experience. Started at home. And the reason now that we have developed these trauma bonds, because more times than not, they are coming to us from our caregivers, our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, our aunts, uncles, older siblings, people that we love, people that we are in relationship with, people that we continue to be in relationship with. These trauma bonds are coming from familiar faces, and they're coming from familiar places. They're bonds because we have to be involved with these people. There are mothers, there are fathers, there are grandparents, there are aunts, there are uncles, there are parents' friends, they're caregivers, they're babysitters, they're older siblings, as we said before. We're in relationships with these people. And these people have brought us pain, tremendous amounts of pain. And so because we endeavor to continue our relationships with the people we love, there is where the bonds are formed. Everyone wants to have some sort of a relationship with their parents, with their aunts, with their uncles, with their older siblings, with caregivers, with babysitters. We want to have those relationships because those relationships are important to us. It is what's supposed to happen. We expect to have these relationships. Everyone in the world around us, we're all having these relationships. And yet, these same relationships, many of them have produced fear or guilt or abuse in our childhood. It is our father that physically abused us, for example. It is our mother that neglected us. It is our grandparents who perhaps may have sexually assaulted us. It is our older siblings who have exploited us. And the roles change, and the types of abuse and the abuse patterns change. And so you get my point. The people that we love and that we honor and that we were supposed to trust, these people have provided for us tremendous amounts of pain and trauma. And therein lies the definition of a trauma bond. I love you. I want to be a part of your life, and I want you to be a part of my life. And yet there's still trauma in our interactions. There's still the residue of trauma in our relationships. And that is a very confusing place to be. Because on the one hand, we want to advance these relationships. It is our natural dream to be parts of a family unit that supports us, that loves us, that values us, that honors us. As human beings, we value this social aspect of humanity. We value belonging and being a part of something. And there is no tighter unit, many times, than the unit of blood relation, followed by the unit of association and choice, and like-minded understanding. But these relationships bring us pain, and we are, in essence, many of us, we believe that we are trapped in these relationships. We stay attached to these relationships, even though these relationships have done tremendous amounts of damage to us. We still feel the urge to be a part and stay a part of those relationships. Why? Well, there are a lot of reasons why. We've just stated many of them before. But one of the underlying factors of trauma bonds is that, especially in terms of our relationships with our immediate caregivers and our immediate family members, we struggle with maintaining and staying in those relationships because when we were younger and those relationships were forming, those were the same relationships that we depended upon for survival. The same mother that neglected you is the same mother that made sure you had a roof over your head and school clothes when it was time to go to school. The same father that potentially abandoned you is the same father that whose DNA you carry. The same father that was responsible for supporting you in T-ball. The same father that taught you how to ride a bike. The grandparents that are so near and dear to our heart, the same grandparents that may have physically abused us, and yet they provided for us. And so we needed these relationships to survive. And so again, as children, we are very adept at survival. We learned how to survive despite the trauma and the traumatic experiences. And so now we're grown, And parts of us have realized that we did not deserve those experiences that we had when we were younger, but parts of us still believe that we need to have these relationships because these relationships at one point were our vital need to survive. I'm being abused, but I still have to have a roof. I'm being abused, but I still have to have food. I'm being abused, but they still take me to soccer practice. I'm being abused, but they still help me with my homework. It's confusing as a kid. Now that we're adults, we know that things are wrong. We know that things are off-center. And yet we still have this urge deep down inside to be attached to these people. Because all of it now has been blended together. It's all been blended together. And even though we suffer a great deal of pain in these relationships, we still in some weird way we get a sense of safety from these relationships. It's confusing to us. And if we're not careful, we will continue these relationships in perpetuity or forever, being hurt by them, being re-traumatized by them, being re-injured by them, because we somehow believe that they are necessary for us to survive. And so what our healing does, what we have to do when we heal, is we have to separate these ideas. Number one, it is incumbent upon us as adults to keep ourselves safe. Number one. That's number one. We don't need mom to keep us safe anymore. We don't need dad to keep us safe anymore. We don't need our older brother or sister. We don't need our grandparents. We don't need the babysitter. We don't need caregivers. We need to reparent ourselves and rewire ourselves in such a way that would say to that inner child that's wounded and desperate and clinging on to those older folks, those parents and those caregivers. We need to say to that inner child, we no longer need them. They no longer serve the purpose they served previously. We can take care of ourselves. We can take care of ourselves. We are strong enough. We're wise enough. We're brilliant enough. We're talented enough to take care of ourselves. When that happens, then number two can happen. We can begin to set healthy boundaries with these people. It does not necessarily mean that we kick these people out of our lives, but it does mean now that we know that we can take care of ourselves, we can set the parameters of our relationship. We can set boundaries. We can bring clarity to what we expect. We can bring clarity to what we are willing to offer. We can bring clarity to what we are willing to tolerate, right? We can do that. We can do that. Third, we need to begin to also understand that this may cause reactions from others, that they will continue to try to move past our boundaries. They will manipulate. They will do all sorts of things to regain whatever control that they've had over you for all of these years. That is the natural process when you are a wounded person who hurts and wounds other people. That's okay. Which means there may be a time where the relationship, where we have to take a step back from those relationships, where we have to move in a different direction. And that is a hurtful thing to think about when you're thinking about the person that carried you in their womb for 9 months. It's a hurtful thing to think about when you're thinking about the person that provided for you for 17, 18 plus years. The person that taught you how to ride a bike, the person that taught you how to throw a ball. But it's necessary because we as the adults in this body, in these bodies, have to prove to those parts of us that are still wounded little children that they have nothing to fear, Because ultimately, we want to take the covers back, peel the covers back, uncover the hidden gem that is us, the real us, the true us that's been buried all this time, so that that person can shine forth in all of that person's splendor and all of that person's value and worth and love and talent and gifts. It's necessary. How do we get out of the trauma bonds that we find ourselves in? Number one, we can take care of ourselves. No need to be attached to anyone based on what they can do to keep us safe. We keep ourselves safe. Number two, part of keeping ourselves safe is to establish healthy boundaries with everybody and anybody. Mom, dad, uncle, aunt. Number three, loving ourselves enough to back away if necessary, to keep ourselves safe from those traumatic experiences happening over and over and over again, to give ourselves a chance to heal, to give ourselves a chance to bloom. Hope you enjoyed this. We will be back soon with another segment as we learn how to navigate this healing journey. Remember, if you have survived, and if you're hearing my voice, you have, that means that you can thrive. You're not broken. You are simply becoming. Love and light to you until we see you again.